Yes, Represent Radio, you're locked into the Gully B show here on Represent Radio. And there's been one artist that I've been supporting for a long, long time. And he's a brand new artist as well. So I'm saying a long, long time. I'm talking day one. I've been representing this guy right here. It's only right that we get him on the line right now via Zoom. Guys, make some noise. It's Jay Lucia. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Come on. How you doing?
Yeah, man, it's good. It's good. It's weird that we're doing this in this like weird lockdown situation at the moment. It's a weird time to be in, but here we are. We're connecting it through technology, and we've got you here on the show.
I know, bro. I feel like I'm on Zoom more than I'm at home. You know, like that. Every day is Zoom. You get me?
Man, well, I know things are busy for you right now as well because you've just come out with a brand new EP, My Turn. But we'll get into that. We'll get into My Turn because there's been so much that's been going on since before that. Those who don't know, I've been repping you since what? Day one. Like,
come on, when Jay Lucia just became Jay Lucia.
Mojo back, I was still supporting you.
that wasn't even Jay Lucia.
Exactly.
That was someone else.
Someone else.
Yeah,
that was a different.
That, bro. Come on.
But that was the origins, man, and the way you've developed from your old aliases and those songs into what you've done now with My Turn has been amazing to watch. Especially someone who's seen you since the very beginning with that. And yeah, man, well done. Like I think it's amazing.
I appreciate that. It means a lot. It means a lot, man. Especially obviously you've seen the journey, the difficult times. Obviously it's still difficult. We're still working now, but yeah, man, I appreciate that, bro.
Man, it's all right. You know, we're always have support for you here on the Gully B show. But let's get into the origins because as I know you for a couple of years now, some people might not have because really this is your first EP and there's only been maybe, what I'd say, one big single before that was with Ribena. I know you had Black Lives Matter that's come out recently, but really Ribena was like the first Jay Lucia single back in 2018, am I right?
Yep.
Yeah. That was the one, yeah. So before all that, let's give a bit of a background. So representing 758 in its finest right there. I think people can guess from the name Jay Lucia, your origins come from St. Lucia. So how was that growing up in St. Lucia? How long were you there for? Like, I knew you were born there, but when did you move to the UK?
Yeah, I was born and raised there. I moved over to the UK when I was 13, so that would have been in like 2009. Growing up in St. Lucia, it was lit, bro. Obviously, have the beach downstairs, like fresh air, like it's amazing. Like all the sounds you get from soca and carnival, that's kind of what I really loved about growing up in St. Lucia. Like my mom used to make carnival bands and costumes and stuff like that. So like I was always around like soca music and being on the beach like every day. Bro, it's amazing. It's paradise, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, especially in St. Lucia. St. Lucia has its own specialist sound as well. Well, actually, I think there's two different sounds. For example, when you look at the sound from places like Castries, which is where you're originally from in the capital, you got artists like Teddyson John, who are doing the more authentic soca sound. But one thing I know that St. Lucia is well known for is the Dennery segment from the Dennery coast, man. So how was it for you? Was that something that was kind of always going on when you were like growing up? Were you aware that there was those kind of separation of sounds, or is that more of a new thing?
That's new. Nah. You know what it is, yeah? Like Teddyson John, he grew up doing gospel music. Like he was doing gospel music with my aunts and stuff like that. We had people like Ricky T that was really big. He's still big now. But these are the kind of people, Ricky T and a few other artists back in the day that are really doing their thing. But you see, Dennery segment is fairly new. Like the brand Dennery segment is fairly new. That came about, I would say, because of there was a real strong influence of our Creole side of things with the language. But obviously, there was a genre, or there is a genre called Kuduro in Angola. Yeah. And it was those kind of beats that really influenced the Dennery segment sound. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And they just put their own spin on it. And then because it originated in Dennery, they just called it Dennery segment. Yeah, it's one of the biggest genres actually in the world. When you deep it, you hear Dennery segment everywhere you go. Yeah. Everywhere. You get me? So big up St. Lucia. Big up all of my Dennery brothers. You get me?
Yeah, man. Well, you know that we've been supporting Dennery segment as well on the show. We've had artists like Freezy on the Represent show in the past as well, and we've always been supporting that music. And I remember back before you became St. Lucia, you even done a tune called Roller Coaster, which was a Dennery segment tune on the Gold Bar Rhythm.
I did it. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Oh my days. What are you you're digging that? Yeah, I actually did a Dennery segment tune with an artist called Big C Twakai. Like he's lit, you get me?
Yeah, man. So I see
that was back in the day.
I see the word twaka a lot in a lot of St. Lucian Creole. What does twaka mean in its probably its finest sense? I know it's used in a lot of different ways, but what's trouble?
Trouble. When somebody say twaka, they say, look, trouble, stop now. Trouble. So Big C. And the reason why he's even called Big C is like there's a lot of depth. So in Big C or in large waters, there's a lot of depth. And that's why he calls himself Big C. So it's Big S-E-A as opposed to the letter C. And twaka, trouble, you get me? So there's also trouble when the music come on, you get me?
Yeah, man. Well, it's definitely something that we hear quite a lot in the Dennery segment sign anyway. It's very fast, it's very energetic, very bass heavy as well from that Angolan Kuduro influence as well. You can hear that when you think of like Kuduro artists like Baraka Som Sistema from Lisbon.
Yeah.
Like you could hear that kind of influence from that sound, what you hear in the Dennery segment as well. So it's good to see how it's traveled the Atlantic to kind of influence a whole new subgenre of music, and it's something the world's going to be supporting. But that was, I suppose Gold Bar Rhythm and Roller Coaster, that was going back a few years. And then that was in your old days when you were first starting out and you were trying out a lot of different styles of music. But I think what's really impressed me is how well you've come as a songwriter. And I know that's something that's come from your origins, right? Because before you were even making music, poetry was your passion, am I right?
Yeah, man, 100%. Like, I don't know if you know much about St. Lucian culture, but we have 2 Nobel laureates in St. Lucia. So we had Sir Arthur Lewis, who won a Nobel Prize for economics. But we had an Honourable Derek Walcott, who was a Nobel laureate winner for, he won a Nobel Prize in literature. And it was actually his poetry that inspired me to even want to write poetry. Like, because to me, I saw him as like a superhero. Like, he was so famous. It was like, not many countries in the world have Nobel laureates, and we have 2. And not only do we have 2, but this guy, I've met him. My granddad went to school with him.
Wow.
So I just copied him. So I just wrote poetry every single day. But it was only when I got to like more of a teenage kind, like late teens, that I started really like constructing a song as opposed to just a verse. Like, I couldn't even write choruses before. But now it's almost like all I write is choruses, you know what I mean?
Well, definitely on the new single Loco, that is one that's just I've always got it going in my head, and that's not just because I back you. Like that tune is like the screens.
That's Tory's chorus there, bro.
But even you have the second half of that though, don't you? So there's a lot of mix of languages in there, and for example, like I know it's like the mui at the end of things like that's Creole, right? Like when you Mwedi.
Yeah.
See, I gotta get my pronunciation right.
Nah, but you got it. So I mixed like Mwedi means, you know, like when in rap they say I listen or I said. So Mwedi means I say, like, do you know what I mean? Mwedi, I said. So I mixed that with obviously Spanish, and then a bit obviously so Creole, Spanish, English, and yeah, man, it's crazy, isn't it? First time it's been done. I think the only time it's ever been done. Yeah, that's the only time it's been done.
Definitely. I know, like, I understood that, well, I didn't understand it, but I understood that there's Creole language in St. Lucia anyway that's different to anything. And I remember when you and I first met for the first time, like, I love that you can dip in between English, Creole. And so do you speak fluent Spanish as well? I know you sing it in the song Loco.
Now, you know what it is? When I came to England, I really loved the fact that this country was so diverse. So I learned a bit of Spanish, Portuguese, French, a bit of Polish as well, and a few other languages. Like, so I'm all right. I can say a few things, and also my accents aren't too bad in different languages. Yeah. So as long as I understand it. For example, in 100 degrees, it says, "Vamos, tu cuerpo está 100 grados." That just means let's go, because your body's hotter than 100 degrees.
Right. And that's the tune.
Si quieres, I mean, all it's so. I've literally just said the exact same thing, and it happens to rhyme and make sense.
Yeah. So when you wrote the song, then did you already have that part in mind? Like, how did you notice it? I know it rhymed. Was it coincidence, or did you know that language to know that it rhymed with this?
100%. So basically, my manager called me up. One of my managers called me up and he said, "Jay, I want an upbeat song." This was middle of COVID. I'm in my room, just learning how to use Logic. I get this beat up on YouTube. It's not the beat we have now. We remade it and we made it a lot better. But I got a YouTube beat. I just typed in reggaeton because I was like, I want to hear something mad. And then in my head, I wanted like vitamina, gasolina, dictamina. So I had the words in my head already. I just wanted to make it. I wanted to make it make sense for every Spanish territory. So if you listen to it in Spain, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, anywhere, it will sound lit.
Yeah.
Do you get me? So I got my friends from Chile, from Argentina. Sorry, buddy. I got my friend from Chile, from Argentina, and from Dominican Republic as well, and someone from Spain, just to literally check to make sure it was grammatically correct in every aspect, and it also sounded legit. So like, if someone from one of those countries heard it, they would have fought down from their country.
Yeah. But that's the way you want it to be, really, man. You want it to be authentic to the sound of where it's come from. And that's what I noticed, especially with Spanish. Like, there's different... I went to Havana in Cuba a couple of years ago, and there's different words in mainland Spain that would mean something not completely different, but there would be different ways you'd say it.
Slight variations, yeah.
Yeah, like, for example, in Havana, everyone's like, que bola, whereas that wouldn't make as much sense if you were somewhere in mainland Spain. That would be the greeting that you would use or something like that. So I always find things that are quite interesting to see, and I think you've pulled that off authentically on the EP, because of course you've done it on 100 Degrees, you've done it on Loco as well, so you kind of had a melting pot of different languages, and it's really made the whole EP come together as well. So for you, like, growing up, you're saying that guys like Ricky T, for example, was like an artist that was kind of going around at the time. So were you always kind of just listen solely to more of the St. Lucian sounds, or were you listening to world music already from other countries when you were in St. Lucia?
Alright, so my first I remember the first music I really loved, was Zouk.
Yeah.
Now Zouk is like a folk genre in St. Lucia, but it's very much French and Creole. And Kassav was my first, like, I remember my mom, when she moved to England, she left over her CD player and she only left Kassav CDs. And I learned like all of the songs, just the rhythm, like I loved it. Then when my mom used to come back and that, she used to do like backup singing for the Calypso and Soca Monarch.
Yeah.
So this is when Ricky T first ever came out. So I was in the Calypso tent and the Soca tents backstage while my mom was practicing, all in the rehearsal rooms.
Wow. And
then what I learned to do as well is I didn't like playing steel pans, but I loved the music. So I joined a steel pan group called Digital Pan Time. And we came third in the Panorama for that year in St. Lucia, but I played just in percussion.
Wow.
And I played drums while I was learning there as well. And I went to the St. Lucia School of Music. I learned drums in the St. Lucia School of Music, but all of these times I still can't read music.
Oh, real? But I suppose you've made it work for you. You've just found a way.
Yeah, 100%. So it kind of made sense eventually that like I'd make music, and obviously reggae, like Buju Banton, Bob Marley, so many like dancehall, Vibes Cartel, Movado, Jacure, all those artists really like, they had a big impact on me. Marshall Montano from Trinidad, Bunji Garlin, like these guys had a big influence on who I am. So when I came to England and then I really got a feel for Afro beats, it was like, raw, I've got this, now I've learned this. Then I've learned the Spanish thing and the Portuguese thing and the French thing. So it's like, ooh, what can I do now?
So did you see...
That's what...
When you were in the UK then, did you see that melting pot of genres? Like, did you see the similarities between genres that you knew from St. Lucia alone? For example, like, I remember the history of St. Lucia was it had been invaded by England and France was like 17 times or something, wasn't it?
No, 14 times.
14 times.
Yeah, we were 7 times British,
7 times each.
times French.
That was it, yeah. So from them kind of influences from way back in history, did you see that there was genres of music that had evolved in, for example, in Afrobeats, like Angola, you were saying, had like Kuduro that then influenced sort of the Dennery segments.
Yeah,
did you see more of that?
One thing I realized when I came to England was like, once you're black, there's something in you that's similar musically. Like rhythm is very similar. What you get that's different the majority of the time is the type of instruments they can use and the languages they speak. Other than that, the rhythm is similar. Yeah. And then I really realized where it came from. So it was the African slaves with these sounds that developed the language Creole and the language broken English so that the slave masters couldn't understand them. But they used that same rhythm that they used from Africa. Now, over the years, it's watered down with French culture. So now you got Zouk. Over the years, it's watered down with Portuguese culture in, let's say, Mozambique, Capo Verde, Angola. Now you have Kizomba and so on and so forth. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, and it's beautiful to see how we can all interchange and we can form a sound that's unique to each island or each country, but at the same time, relatable to each, rhythm-wise and music-wise. You get me?
Definitely. And I feel like I've seen that in your music as well. So we're talking about obviously the new EP, My Turn, but let's go back to the big debut single you had in 2018 was Ribena. And now that was, I suppose, like an Afro swing dancehall beat as well. And I suppose that's come from different backgrounds as well. Like
with poems for verses.
Yeah.
That you know what, that single didn't really work because people didn't get that that's what it was. People didn't realize that I was making a transition from poetry to music. So I, instead of like rapping the verses, kind of like I wrote a poem and then I tried to spit that or sing it. Do you know what I mean? But you grow and you learn in it.
Definitely. And one thing you definitely grew and learned a lot in was when you joined DJ Target's Rap Game on BBC Three, right? Like,
yeah, man, that taught me a lot.
Yeah, how did, like, when, because I remember you and I were talking about it at the time, but I remember you went a little bit quiet a few weeks before it kind of all started then going, and I was like, what's he up to? And it's like, oh, right, there's something definitely happening. So how did that come about for you? Had you like applied for that? Did someone put you forward for that? Like, did you target already?
So many people, man, like, because obviously I already knew the majority of people. Like, I'd already met Target before, and a lot of the people back behind the scenes I'd already known. Like, even the videographer that they chose for me from my scene, I already knew before it.
Right.
But people were telling me to apply, but I was like, I'm not really a rapper like that. I don't really fancy myself as a good rapper. So I thought, let me just give it a go to just get some exposure.
Yeah.
And I applied, and boy, we're here now, innit?
Well, the poetry definitely worked for you in that respect as well, because I feel a lot of the people in the Rap Game, they were coming with like a hard, like, grime, drill, rap kind of background, whereas yours was poetry, songwriting, kind of you had a lot more like like if you look at Ribena, that's more of a love song kind of approach. I wouldn't go as far as you've come from that kind of like songwriter background, which you said that you didn't write choruses before, but really you're born for it, man. Like, if there's one thing that's part of your music, you can tell that you're a songwriter at heart, and I think the poetry pulled off well for you, that one. I remember even the video that you shot on Rap Game. Those who don't know where you and I live, down here in Southend-On-Sea, how you managed to turn Southend Seafront into looking like the Castries beachfront, I have no idea how you managed to get that grade.
Bro, do you know what it is? Yeah, it's like it was the day. The day was, as soon as I walked into the hotel with the videographer, with the team and the camera team, and then the production team and the model and that. Yeah, so I walked into the hotel and I was like, raw, like, it is hot. It is hot. The sun is shining. There's palm trees and that. Bruv, let's do it. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, shout out to Frost, man. Frost done his thing. But like I said, I already knew Frost from before the show. So I even remember I had Frost's number. Like, so when everyone else was like, I don't even know what's happening with my video, I was like, bro, I have my video on my phone.
Just call
Frost is my guy. Do you get what I'm trying to say? This video is in my hometown. Like, what, I live in Southend.
Mad.
Do you get me?
Mad.
It was lit.
So I'm thinking back to how things have compared from your upbringing in St. Lucia to moving here to sunny Southend. One thing that you and I definitely know our bits about, because that's the thing is we go there, but we're still kind of like tourists in a weird way when we talk about Notting Hill Carnival. So
yeah,
how does Notting Hill Carnival compare to you growing up in the St. Lucian Carnival? Like, I know you're saying that your mum was part of like the production of the bands and stuff like that.
St. Lucian Carnival is lit. St. Lucian Carnival is lit. Let me tell you what I like about UK Carnival. Yeah, there's more people. There's people from everywhere else.
Yeah.
And you don't, in St. Lucia, it's predominantly St. Lucian people and then a little bit of other people. But not in all Carnival, there's like the St. Lucian people. You get Grenadians, you get Bajans, you get Dominicans, you get Jamaicans, you get Trinis, you get St. Kitts, and you get so many. And then you get Brazil, you get Angola, you get Congo, you get Ghana, you get Nigeria, you get Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Like, it don't get much better than that. I feel like if your summer ain't really complete if you don't go to St. Lucia Carnival and then you come and you also go to Notting Hill Carnival. I feel like you have to go to at least one original carnival, I say, and then one mixed carnival, which is Notting Hill every year, innit, for you to be complete. It's
definitely one that we do. I know when I play on my truck at Pure Lime as well, shout out to the Pure Lime family, I don't just play Trinidadian music as well. I always make sure that we're supporting artists from as many islands as we can. St. Lucia's always a big one. I think we had Sabans and Mighty. They done as a dub plate to open the set with last year as well.
Sabans, my dog. Sabans.
Right. I've always got love for 758. Trust me, man. Like, we represent every island as well. And then the same with like islands like Antigua. You got artists like Ricardo Drew and Tian Winter and stuff like that. So we'll play a lot of their music on one track.
Nah, man, you know what? Yeah, big up your thing, bro. Big up your thing. You see you and Andy as well. I see you lot do it. You lot play music, yeah? And give every island the love it deserves. So like, I've been out in Southend and I've seen a few of your events, and if I didn't see that it was you man DJing, I would have thought I was actually in the Caribbean, to get, because you lot actually know your thing.
Yeah,
so
man.
Big up.
I still need to come over to St. Lucia as well, man. I want to check it out. Like, considering that there's so many people that you and I have mutual friends on the island, and I've never been, and it's like, to me, it's weird sort of thing. Like,
you need to go.
So like, who was I chatting to the other day? As Hassan, chef de four. So like,
yeah, you know what's mad? Like,
so he's related to you, right?
It's not related to me yet, but his baby mom is my cousin.
That's So he's saying like
like okay, put it this way, like her dad was the Prime Minister of St. Lucia.
Right, and is that your grandfather?
That's my uncle. That's my
uncle. Right, okay.
Yeah, he led St. Lucia through to independence.
It's mad. So you kind of come from so that's one thing I really like about you. Represent St. Lucia at every opportunity as well. Obviously with the name J Lucia as well, man. But your family history.
My real name is even more powerful than J Lucia. Yeah. But this is the thing, like we never came from riches, but we came from a place where there's blood, sweat, and tears put into our country. Mm-hmm. Do you get me? So that's kind of where my family name got the respect from. But it's like the way St. Lucia works is your family name could have got all the respect in the world, and it could have been Jesus himself. But it don't matter. Like you have to get your own. Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do in it, and I'm trying to put on for my country as well. Hence why in my EP they all mix, and the 3 of the songs in there produced by St. Lucian producer, engineered by St. Lucian. The feature in there, St. Lucian. She also is a very, very, very close. Toriel is a very close family. Yeah. She's my cousin. Right. So she's based in St. Lucia as well. Because that's one thing I wanted to ask you as well. I wasn't sure if she was from St. Lucia, and she's born and raised in St. Lucia.
So you went and met her right there for the video. Yeah.
So we recorded the song out there together. Yeah. I came back, recorded the second verse out there as well. Then we came back down and shot the video there. Right. So was that like her nan and my granddad are the two oldest remaining family members. Now we're not directly related because like her side is through marriage, but like we're very close, like family. Do you know what I mean? That's when she's a talent in her own right as well, Tori. Oh, she's ridiculous. Yeah. When she was 5, she used to tell everyone, I want to be famous, I want to be a star. And I used to look at her like, shut up, man.
She's going to kill you in this interview, isn't she, for saying
Nah, she knows. I used to think you're an annoying little child, but like the thing is, she could sing when she was 5. Yeah. But at 5 in St. Lucia, you don't think, this girl's going to be like the next superstar. You just think, she's probably going to stop singing when she's reached secondary school. Do you know what I mean? But she's blown up by herself. Like, so.
That's incredible, man. It's incredible to see you link up back now as you're adults and create some incredible music. Loco is the song, we've been playing it here on the Represent show, but it's one of the songs it's like the screensaver of my mind right now. Like anytime I'm just doing it's like, let's see. Like, just like it's constantly going in my head at the same time, man. I think you've absolutely smashed on that one. But also 100 Degrees, man. That's like, I'd say that's a dancehall tune, really. Like when I hear that, it sounds like modern dancehall. Yeah, like when I hear that, that's something that even if I didn't know you and anything like that, that's something I'll be playing in every DJ set because it bangs. That's a club tune as well. Loco is the big.
I can't wait for that one to be a single because obviously they're all singles in their right mind. They don't see right now it's Loco's time. But when we do the 100 Degrees video, everything's already planned. We're just waiting for the borders to open up in various countries. I ain't gonna say where. Okay. You get me? Okay. But, bro, that's gonna be mad. And you know what? Like the reason why that's probably one of the songs I'm most proud of. I feel like every song to me has a journey. Like Loco to me was like, it was amazing that me and Tori had a chance to link up. Like that to me was spiritual. If I was the first song I wrote there, and it was the weirdest song because I wrote the lyrics. I didn't have a beat that I thought could have matched it. It was just all the melodies all in my head. And when I got to the studio in St. Lucia and Islands, he played me the beat. I was like, this is the weirdest beat I've ever heard in my life. It's not J Lucia. He goes, yeah, but you're the only one that can do anything. I was like, give me 2 seconds. Pulled out my phone. Literally, if you ask him, he will tell you it took me 5 minutes to record the entire song. Wow. So that one means a lot to me. Then you have Guilty Pleasures, which is personal. Mm-hmm. So that one is probably my favorite song because of how personal it is to me. And then 100 Degrees is mad because I recorded that by myself in my bedroom during COVID. So I'm always going to remember that. The first song I ever properly, fully recorded by myself, made the EP. Yeah. And it took me like an hour and a half to write and record.
And just doing it from home?
From home, yeah, man, in my bedroom.
So that's one thing I think it's mad that this kind of COVID times has sort of forced a lot of artists to become a lot more independent, and not just independent in terms of like labels and stuff like that. I mean, literally, like, get a mic, record something in your bedroom, make something happen when you can't do live shows. We don't have the luxury. Well, we're starting to open up, but really we don't have the luxury of live shows yet. So I feel like, is that something? Are you still working on tracks like weekly? Because I know you're very busy all the time.
Weekly,
like, hourly.
Bro, I would have been in the studio right now.
Yeah, just constantly on
I've literally, I have to give my producer time off so he can mix. Like, he begs me for time off because I'm in the studio every single day, bro. Every day.
That's amazing.
So the amount of music we have is just like, we're just making more. Because, like, I probably have more throwaway tracks than people have out there, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just mastering my craft and just learning, being hard on myself. Like, the team are very hard on me. It's like, yeah, this is a banger, but we need it to be more of a banger. Then, like, okay, cool, let's go back to the drawing board, make it better, make a new tune. Before you know it, like, you're in the studio every single day, you get addicted to it.
That's what I find.
You know
like,
what I mean?
I still remember the first time you and I proper linked up. We went down to a pub in Southend.
Yeah, went to a pub, bro.
And I remember, like, we were just gonna have a quick meeting because I know we knew the same people, but we hadn't met yet. So we were like, oh yeah, let's link up, we'll chat. And I think you and I were there for about 3 hours in the end.
3 hours. You know what we was having, brother? You put me onto it. Havana Club lemonade and orange juice.
Mate, any rum with orange juice and lemonades, squeeze a lime.
Banging.
That's the one,
Banging.
man. It's like a.
Come on.
It's like a cheap cocktail in a sense. It's a
it's
a Florida orange with rum in it. That's all it is, mate. That's all I ever drink on the mic.
And it's a guaranteed tasting good
drink.
Do you get me? It's just banging.
And you can use that with any rum as well, like dark rum, white rum, 100. Spice rum. Any of them will just go well with that. And that's anytime, like, I'm doing a show, if you see Gully B DJing, next to me will be a bottle of rum, bottle of orange juice, bottle of lemonade, and some chopped up limes. And I have that as my rider every time I'm DJ, man. That's the drink there. That's how you drink, man, if you're DJing out there.
I've copied that one. Still, I'm gonna lie.
Big up, man. You're not just coming out here just to bust like one tune for a dance, something like that. It's like you've got a body of work that means something to you, man. And that's something that we can definitely hear on the new EP, My Turn, right now.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man.
Man, you know,
obviously a lot of work's been put into it, and there's, like I said, more work's being done.
So what can you tell us anything? I know you said that you're in the studio practically every day at the moment. Not practically, you are in the studio every time I contact you, you're in the studio. So is there anything that you're allowed to give away yet? Is there anything you can tell us what's coming, or are we under lock and key right now?
We got videos coming. We like I said, all the owners right now has been on local. Everything's been about local. But there's also If I Shut Down. There's also Guilty Pleasures, and there's also 100 Degrees. That because I feel like all the marketing has been in local. Like, there's still a lot of people that haven't even realized that 100 Degrees is even a song.
Yeah. So like, it's been listening as a single.
Yeah, everyone's just been listening to local and Guilty Pleasures, to be fair. Like, Guilty Pleasures, I don't know if people are just in their feelings because it's summertime and they ain't got a girl or what, but it's just been local and Guilty Pleasures. But I know that once people actually listen to 100 Degrees, we ain't been pushing it too much. Once we start pushing it, boy,
that's the
Spanish market will eat that one up.
Man, and that's something I'm noticing a lot of artists have been doing recently. Mr. Vegas, an artist that we've always been supporting here on the show, and he's been linking up with guys like Topola Mascara, who are from Dominican Republic, and he's just managed to like tap into the Latin market in a whole new way. Like, he's opened up a whole new audience, and if that's something I think is definitely going to really switch up your game as well, man. Obviously, I've been watching you since day one, since you've been doing the music thing, and seeing you taking those inspiration, I'm like, he's doing all the right moves, man, and it's inspiring to see what you're going to come up with next.
No, I appreciate that, man. You know what it is? When we link up, I'll have to show you some of what we've got. We got like, bro, we got there's some like I put up a status the other day, and there was like 600 different like songs on my phone, and like over 2,000 notes of lyrics.
Mad.
It's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous.
Well, man, you know, we're definitely going to be supporting here on the Represent Show. You know, you've fully got our back in here, man. So until then, where can everyone find you on socials? What's they need to be searching for Jay Lucia?
Yeah, it's simple. If you want to find Jay Lucia, all you need to type in is I am JLUCIA. That's I am Jay Lucia on every single major platform. YouTube, just type in Jay Lucia, see what comes up. Good stuff, bad stuff, who knows. But Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all of that. I am Jay Lucia. Find me straight away.
Well, guys, if there's something that you have today, I'm setting you some homework for the weekend. Is make sure you go and follow Jay Lucia on all them kind of social sites, as well as streaming platforms as well. The new EP, My Turn, is something that you need to be listened to. And I'm going to jump into Loco, which is the title single off the EP right now. Jay Lucia, thank you so much for passing by the Gully B show and here represent.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Always a pleasure, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Always send you love, man. Let's jump into this one. This is Jay Lucia with Loco featuring Toriel.